Good evening and welcome to episode 18, series 2 of Ox Sports Unleashed. Wherever you are, in your bathrooms, your jacuzzis, your hot baths, probably your sheds or your gardens today because it was a lovely day. Thanks for joining us on a back live at Oxford Downs Cricket Club.
You weren't live last week?
No, not really. Did you not notice?
Don't give you a trade ticket.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's really bad of us. But we're absolutely packed show tonight, so lots to get in. Looking forward to a live studio guest. Pleased to invite into the studio RF Racing 43. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up in around about 25 minutes time. Well worth waiting for. Another exclusive new sport to Ox Sports Unleashed. So looking forward to chatting to a lad who's a
bit younger than you,
plying his trade at the moment in that sport. Yeah, a little bit younger than me. And as you will notice,
I'm back.
A certain individual is back.
Prodigal son returned.
He has returned.
Did he miss me?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was much more professional, I have to say, in the last couple of weeks. But you know,
some of it was. I thought the Mick Channon stuff was quite good. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It was good.
As much as it pains me to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
So leave you to start the show.
I will start the show. Yeah. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you also to all the new subscribers. We've got a lot more subscribers in the last week, probably because I wasn't on. And please do like, share, subscribe, and share this to your friends, because the more people we get subscribed, the more people watch, and then the more people see the wonderful sports around Oxfordshire. We're going to start, as we always do, with football, and it pains me to say this because last Saturday, the man behind the camera, the producer, is also a bit upset by this. Last Saturday was FA Trophy quarter-final action for Oxford City. They were just 2 wins from Wembley. I've given the game away now a little bit, but it was a really good game of football, and we've got for you some highlights of that FA Trophy game, followed by an interview with the manager, Ross Jenkins.
They've created the first chance and they're passing the ball around nicely as well, but they've just given it away though.
They have given it away, and it's Scott, and Beautyman's got space to run into. Beautyman shoots, saved by Mackenzie Lyle, follow up, is that going to go in? It is, 1-0 Woking, and as soon as we were talking about Oxford City having the better of the chances, Eni Effiong pounces on the second ball from Mackenzie Lyle's initial save, and he has the simplest of finishes. It bounces off his foot and he follows it in and taps it into an empty net. Mazionis. Odesina again, clipped forward. Chickson's underneath it, and he's taken a full-on blow from Wilcox. Referee's not seen a foul there, so City can carry on. Here's McEachran. Oh, what a goal from Zach McEachran!
What a goal!
Well,
what a goal!
Will Jääskeläinen could do nothing about that. It's sensational from City's magic man. The Woking players can't believe they've not been given a free kick for a...
At Buxton and also at Peterborough Sports, didn't we? But this is a free kick. It's taken short by Ashby into the penalty area. It's a goal! And Oxford City are in front, and it's Freddie Wilcox! His first goal for the club! A really good cross in from Josh Ashby, and Freddie Wilcox has headed the ball in. Oxford City 2, Woking 1.
Oh, he's like...
Free kick. He again raises his right arm in the air into the penalty area. Hasn't been cleared, and it's a goal to Woking. Right at the death in stoppage time. The ball in from from Andrews, and it's going to be likely to be a penalty shootout, Andy, because unfortunately... Andy Gate is with me, shaking like a leaf. Ashby, the captain, with this first penalty for Oxford City, and he has scored. Harry Beautyman, the skipper for Woking. Kai Mackenzie Lyle had a shaky start to his Oxford City career. He could be a hero today. In it comes, good penalty, straight down the middle. Beautyman, left footer. Here comes Lewis Coyle's penalty, and it's saved by Jääskeläinen. He scores this. Effiong against Kai Mackenzie Lyle. In he comes, and it's a great save from Kai Mackenzie Lyle. That was a really good penalty from Effiong, but only on the field for about 5 minutes. City striker Corey Andrews, here it comes, and he's blazed it over the bar in the shootout, but this will give Woking a 2-1 lead with 3 penalties each taken. In comes And it's another save from Mackenzie Lyle! City 1-1 after 3 penalties each. Here comes Tom Scott. What can he do? Another save! And it's Kelly Evans. Plants the ball on the penalty spot. In front of his own fans. In it comes. And he's missed it! Dion Kelly Evans has hit it wide! And it's going to be a left-footed penalty from the young man. In it comes, and it's another save! Well, goalkeepers are often heroes in penalty shootouts, aren't they? But if he scores this, he's going to be a hero for all the right reasons, and he scores! And Woking have reached the semi-finals.
It's going to sting for a while, I must say, and I think it probably hurt a lot of people. I thought we were spot on today. I thought our tactics, our work rate, energy, desire, attitude to execute what we've asked was spot on. I thought we controlled the game with the ball. I actually thought we controlled a lot of the game without the ball. We frustrated them. So boys have got to be super proud, but the lottery is sort of the penalties and anything can happen. But I said the quality of penalties was quite poor from both teams. So it is what it is. We should have probably won the game in normal time. We've had enough chances. We've gifted them the first goal. Second goal, we don't have to do what we've done. So really frustrated on that point of view, but really proud of the players because it's a massive shift. Great occasion, fans were brilliant. But yeah, it would definitely sting.
That's Ross Jenkins there reflecting on an agonising defeat. They just can't score penalties. 1 penalty scored, 4 missed, a couple of good saves, but some really poor penalties on both sides. I have to say, Woking's penalties were pretty abysmal as well. But the goalkeeper, Will Jaskalainen, we said on commentary that keepers are often the heroes in shootouts, but not very often by scoring the winning goal. And City, unfortunately, are out of the competition. Woking have drawn Aldershot in the semi-final, massive local derby. I'm sure Surrey Police will be delighted with that. It will be a good game. I now hope that Woking go on to the final and win, to be honest, because if Oxford City can say they've lost to the winners, then it's a little bit of a consolation. Patrick's saying no behind the camera, not consolation at all.
They did well to get there, didn't they?
Well, he did really well, and we really thought that there was a chance because they were 2-1 up, and they deserved to be 2-1 up as well. They played so well. And then, 2 minutes into stoppage time, the equaliser, and then the calamitous penalty shootout, which was shocking. But there you go, it is what it is. City can now, coin the cliche, focus on the league, which is really important. They need to get some wins under their belt to try and get themselves out of relegation danger. Hopefully they can, and hopefully they can pick themselves up from Saturday's FA Trophy exit.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the season or at the hoops. Hope they can just get up that table fraction, stay in National League North, so important. Well, that takes us, of course, quite nicely, as Wes alludes to our normal roundup of the local football results with Lyon Ryde, or as I like to call them, Venkman, Stance and Spengler.
Ghostbusters!
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome to this week's Lyon Ryde review of last week's local football. And last week we lost Paul Lyon because he was stuck on a train with no signal. But you're back with us now, aren't you, Paul?
Yes, back, Colin. Sorry about last week, but National Rail, never reliable, is it?
Not
Despite the high charges.
Absolutely. And they go back up 4.6% this week as well, just to add insult to injury there. But we're not here to talk about British Rail, are we? We're here to talk about last Saturday's football. And we start off with some very, very sad news. Didcot's game at home to Willand Rovers was abandoned in the 37th minute last week because what was described at the time as a medical emergency turned out to be the loss of a loyal fan, Bob Worth. And Patrick, I think we're going to come back to that later on in the programme, aren't we?
Yeah, I know Kieren's got a tribute planned in that, so I'm sure he'll do that justice later on.
Yeah, and he was a familiar figure to me whenever I've been down there. Didcot Town, like many of the local clubs, have always been very helpful. So it's a sad news to start off our review this week. And Paul, sad news about the game being abandoned, but common sense prevails, wouldn't there, in that situation?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? When that happens in the crowd, especially if he's well known to the players and that, because it's difficult to concentrate on a football game when something like that's happened. And the medics are probably dealing with the situation as well, so that they wouldn't be available on the pitch. So it's sensible decision. Abandon the game, play another day.
Yeah, so it will be a replay, I assume, won't it, Paul?
Yeah, it'd be a replay. It wasn't anybody's fault. So no team was to blame for what happened. So they'll play the game from the start again. Yeah.
So not much cheer on the pitch elsewhere, Paul, as well. City losing at home to Woking in the FA Vars. What's more important, though, staying in the National League or a trip to Wembley, Paul?
We've answered this before. It depends on whether you're a fan or whether you're a football club owner, I guess. It's if you're a fan, you want to go to Wembley, don't you? You know, it doesn't happen very often. Once or twice a century normally for Oxford City, isn't it? You know, so it would have been great for them to get through because they'd have had a great chance of making Wembley when you look at the teams that are left in the competition. But staying in the National League North is the main priority, and it would be great for City if they could do both. And such a shame they couldn't hold on Saturday.
Patrick Lott, you were there, loyal on the terrace as well, and also reported the national non-league paper, as you do. Has your pulse rate returned to normal yet, sir?
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, it's still hurting. Whatever. What is it? 48 hours later that we're recording it, but yeah. I mean, City. Obviously, I'm going to be biased because I'm a City fan, but in my opinion, City richly deserved to win the game. Really, Woking turned up and were absolutely appalling first half, really, and they improved a little bit second half. And I would say I was considering whether I should say or not that Woking barely created anything, but their manager came out in the interview after the game and said the same. So yeah, they barely created anything. They had one chance first half, which City gifted them with a poor pass in midfield. They scored from it, and then a poor foul in the latter stages, which Ross called it, that basically the defender got goal side of Aaron Drew. Aaron Drew pulled him down, and then that led to the equalising goal. And yeah, if that wasn't then hard enough to take, it was then the worst penalty shootout of all time, I have to say, with City missing 4 and Woking missing 3. Every time City missed one, Woking missed one, and you thought City were back in it, and then kept missing another one. So yeah, very, very tough one to take. And as Paul said, it felt like if we'd won that, then we'd have had a really good chance of beating any of those teams remaining in the competition.
Paul, I thought we got over the English disease of it not being able to play penalties, but that seems to be not the case with Oxford City at the moment. So a claim from BBC Radio Oxford and our very own Kieren Bushnell that Oxford City don't practice penalties. Is that fact or fiction, Paul?
Yeah, I think one of those Ross's idea. I think it was one of those ones where if you get it right on the pitch, win the game in normal time or in extra time. And I don't know, when you take penalties in training, it's not the same as the pressure situation on a match day, is it? It's a totally artificial situation. So it wasn't something that they would practice regularly. I don't know what the count is of Oxford City wins, how many times they've won a game on penalties, how many times they've lost. Maybe Patrick's got an answer there.
I tell you what,
the last one I can remember City winning was Tame in the County Cup several years ago, and the last few I remember we've definitely lost. Okay. I remember losing one at Hornchurch about 5-6 years ago after a 4-4 draw, but yeah, not been good at penalty shootouts in recent years, that's for sure.
You need a quality player back like Steve Basham. I remember Steve Basham taking a penalty, a crucial one for Oxford City, which was a long time ago. It must have been when they got promoted to the National League North, okay, so, and he just said you got to clear your mind and just make your mind up, not change it, and place it. But, Paul...
I always think that more players should look at what Will Jääskeläinen, the Woking keeper, did and just absolutely put his boot through it and then... basically give the keeper no. If the keeper gets in the way of it, he's taking the keeper in with him. So yeah,
forgot because the winning penalty came from the keeper, didn't it? The Woking keeper.
Yeah, and he's about the only one that could actually take a penalty as well, which is fairly silly.
It is indeed. Right. So speaking of penalties, Paul, an interesting game at Kassam Stadium, a loss in the end, but despite the used keeper saving a penalty. 3-2 loss at home to Coventry City. And if you look at their run in now, Paul, Oxford United, they've got Watford next up at home, then Middlesbrough away, Sheffield United, Queensborough Rangers both at home, Sheffield Wednesday, Leeds United, I think are top at the moment, Cardiff City, Sunderland and Swansea City away. I mean, that's a tough old run in, Paul, by anybody's imagination, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, there aren't many easy games in that division, are there? United have got 38 points. They're 7 points clear of relegation at the moment. And 44 points, I think, is the average to stay up. So 6 points could be enough. Another 6 points could do it. 50 is probably what's normally regarded as being safe. I think only one team's ever gone down with 50. So if they could get another point a game, for example, 11 games, 11 points, they'll be safe. But when you look at those games they've got to play against, how many games can you see them winning in there? 1, 2, maybe? On the current form, anyway, they'll have to certainly improve. So it's going to be tough. And maybe there are 3 teams worse than Oxford United in that group there. So that might save them. But when you look at the likes of Plymouth, who's suddenly their form seems to have been revived a lot in recent weeks, and you can see a few teams starting to get points. And so I think United are probably going to have to win 3 games out of 11, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah, and the only thing I've got to look forward to next season, really, Southampton coming down from the Premiership to the Championship, and Oxford United playing Southampton, which will be an interesting. I think even North League could beat Southampton at the moment. So there you go. Anyway, Banbury United, Patrick, picked up a point at home.
Yeah, and unfortunately, vaguely suffered the same fate as Oxford City. They were 2-1 up in the 90th minute and conceded an equaliser against Harbour Town. I mean, it's exactly the same, actually. They went 1-0 down early doors, but in the second half, Conor Ferguson and Nura Fosu scored to turn the score around to 2-1. And then it was Ben Stevens for Harbour Town that scored late on to share the spoils there.
Okay, so there's 4 goals at Banbury on Saturday, last Saturday, but 8 goals at the ASM Stadium at Tame United in an absolute thrilling game, Patrick. I mean, talk about getting value for your money.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt at all as to what the game of the weekend was this weekend. I mean, Hadley was 3-0 up after 24 minutes at the ASM Stadium, and I mean, if you're a Tame fan there, you'd be thinking the worst of what's to come. And amazingly, Ty Deacon got one back before the break to maybe give them a modicum of hope, but that modicum of hope turned into everything, really. Mark Riddick and Deacon got it back to level before Finley Murray put them 4-3 up. So it must have been crazy when that went in, and Hadley must have been wondering what had hit them. But Luca Alfano, he scored a late goal in the last 10 minutes to see the spoils shared there. Obviously, it's a match between 2 teams in the fighting for the promotion spots. So not too bad a result in the end of the day, I don't think.
Oh, that must have been one of a half-time talk from the Tame manager, Paul.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Game of 2 halves and all that. It's how many times do you see it in football when the 2 halves are totally different, and the team seems to have either their form turns around and they improve in the second half, or they totally forget about everything they did well in the first half. And it's the manager always takes credit when it goes well, doesn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so 8 goals at the ASM Stadium, 7 at Enfield with Killington's game. Unfortunately, Killington were on the wrong end of all 7 goals. And last week we were making a great play about the fact, I should say, that Killington were getting their first points in the board of 2025. And this week they go on the end of the 7-0 drubbing, Patrick. I mean, they say a week's a long time in politics. It's a hell of a long time in football, isn't it?
Yeah, and we were talking last week, weren't we, about how they could try and use that to kickstart their second half of the season. And I mean, they went and got beaten 1-0 by Tame in the County Cup quarter-final on Tuesday night. And again, considering Tame's position in the league at that stage, you think that's perhaps a fairly respectable scoreline for them. But really, real day to forget for them at Enfield, as you say. I think it was 5-0 at half time and then 2 more in the second half. So, yeah, not a good day for Kidlington there.
So, Northley, still bottom, but battling on, getting a point at home to Ware. Now, Ware must hate coming to Oxfordshire, mustn't they, Patrick?
Yeah, they've not got good memories, have they? Obviously, it was Ware that Northley beat in the playoff final. Was it 3 years ago now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and lost that game. Northley got promoted. Then 12 months later, they had another playoff final against an Oxfordshire team in Didcot. Lost the game. Didcot got promoted. But yeah, so they're still in step 4 in Northley's division. yeah, Northley held them to a point. It was a goalless draw there at Engine Park, and I think you had a stat, Colin, didn't you, about how long ago it was since Northley's last clean sheet?
Yeah, well, last week we brought you the news that the week before last, Killington picked up the first points of 2025, and I can announce that quite convincingly, as reported in the National Non-League paper, that Northley got their first clean sheet since October the 19th, 2024. So there you go. Yeah, but Paul, let's go back to you, because Northley are currently not your favourite team at the moment. Not Northley as such, but Northley reserves, because you were on the wrong end of a defeat with your Whitney Town Football Club on Saturday, weren't you, Paul?
Yeah, we were, Colin, unfortunately. A really good game of football. You had Whitney Town top of Division 2, and you had Northley Reserves top of Division 1 in a cup game. And I can't remember what the cup's called now. It's called it's named after somebody. What's his name? I should say it. But I can't remember what it's called. Oh, Ben Turner. Well, I can't remember who Ben Turner was. The Ben Turner Cup, which is a cup for teams in the senior league, and it was the quarter final at Whitney's home ground. And really good game of football. Nothing between the two teams at all. 1-0 to Whitney, went 1-1, 2-1 to Whitney, 2-2. And at 2-2 there was only one winner. Whitney hit the post 3 times. The Northley goalkeeper made a string of brilliant saves, and guess what? Northley got the winning goal and won 3-2, despite hardly having a chance. So against the run of play, but that's football. And so Northley go through to the semi-final. And the old saying, we're concentrating on the league now. Yeah.
All right, so we're not going to try and catch you out, okay? But hopefully you'll be able to answer this question there. So if you concentrate on the league, where will Whitney Town be playing this coming weekend, Paul?
Woodstock Town away.
Okay, all right.
In the Division 2 Senior League.
So at least you haven't got far to travel, have you, Paul? So no sort of trips away to Darlington or down to Mousehole in Cornwall like Didcot do. So you haven't got far to go, have you?
No, that's good. 10 minutes up the road.
Absolutely. Okay, now, Patrick, do you think you can find a bigger score elsewhere than Thames' 8-goal thriller or the unfortunate 7-0 thrashing? Because go down the league, because sometimes you get some really, really good results further down as well. So what can you find us today, Patrick?
I do have one scoreline, but I'll save that for a bit later on.
Okay, so
yeah, not much to shout about in Step 5, unfortunately, this week. In the Combined Counties League, it's just a couple of games, as Wallingford and Crowmarsh were without a fixture. Both of them ended up with defeats, with Milton United beaten 3-0 at home to Egham Town, while Reading City beat Ardley United 3-1, Jimmy Caspieri getting the Ardley goal there. And in United Counties League, unfortunately, wasn't good news for Easington Sports either. They were beaten 2-0 at Coventry United. They had a tough spell for the Sports. They were still looking for a first win of 2025. So they're 7 games without a win now. So we'll be hoping for 3 points in the coming weeks. Some better news in Hellenic Division 1. Wantage Town returned to winning ways. They won 2-1 at Redditch Borough. It was a normal 2 suspects as well on the score sheet. Callum Crook and Stephen Robertson getting the goals there. It was draws otherwise in the league. Other than that win, Abingdon United were held to a 2-2 draw at home Stratford, FC Stratford. George Gilmore and Casey Highmore with the Abingdon goals there. Ryan Chambers scored for Kidlington Reserves as they were held to a draw, which is 1-1 scoreline against Cheltenham Saracens. And finally, this is where I've got your bigger scoreline, Colin. Woohoo! With Canfield progressing in the Hellenic Challenge Cup, I have to admit, 94th minute goal saw it finish 1-1. Andrew Stratty scored the goal. This took the game to penalties against Cirencester.
Oh no.
The shootout was higher quality than City's, presumably, considering the final scoreline, but it finished 8-7 to Clanfield on penalties. So, I mean, it is a bit of a cheat, I have to admit, but it was technically more than 4-4. But yeah, so Clanfield progressed there. It's a big scalp for them against Cirencester, who are a previously Step 4 team. So yeah, big team for them to beat there. So we'll have a quick look to Sunday's action, and there wasn't actually much on. It was just Oxford United in action, who went to Gwalior United. And Oxford United came back with all 3 points at the Newport Stadium. They won 3-0 with a hat-trick from Phoebe Paul doing the damage for them there. So yeah, obviously a trip across to Wales, and they bring all 3 points back across the bridge with them. So and that was the only game with Abingdon United and Oxford City without a fixture this weekend. So that is what happened on Saturday and Sunday, Colin.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Patrick, and to Paul Lyon. Now back to the main studio for much more Ox Sports Unleashed.
Our thanks to Venkman, Stanson, Spengler, the Ghostbusters, and Lyon Ryde. Say it every week, but thank you very much for all their... I think the camera's just gone out, if I'm seeing right, and obviously the expressions from our producer. So we will just thank again Lyon Ryde for their... brilliant roundup of local football.
We're back live.
It's never a problem, is it, with Patrick behind there?
He doesn't panic, does he?
He doesn't panic at all. Not at all.
That was the quickest he's ever fixed it, actually. Perhaps he put 50p in the meter.
He's got used to doing it.
Yeah, finally. Before we move on to other stuff around football and ice hockey, we would just like to take a moment or two just to reflect on something very sad that happened at Didcot Town on Saturday. Didcot Town were playing Willand Rovers on Saturday, and very tragically, a lifelong supporter of the club, Bob Worth, very sadly passed away at the game. Despite the efforts of everybody at the ground and the air ambulance arriving, sadly their efforts were in vain, and Bob passed away doing though what he loved most, which was watching his beloved Didcot Town FC. Didcot Town supporters and friends of Bob Worth, they're raising money for the Thames Valley Air Ambulance by running in the Reading Half Marathon later this month, and they will be doing that on the 23rd of March in memory of Bob Worth. We have also made a donation to that really good cause, and you can search Just Giving if you want to make a donation. Just do a search for Just Giving, Stephen Reader, Stephen Marks fundraiser for Thames Valley Air Ambulance. They've got an initial target of £1,000. They're already at £925, which is a fantastic effort and a very, very good cause. And our thoughts are with everybody affected, particularly Bob's family and friends, and also everybody at Didcot Town Football Club as well. And we also heard some really sad news this week about a Witney and District FA stalwart, 101 years old, Ted Young. He was the secretary, Darryl, of the Witney District League for 4 decades. I mean, you really can't ask for more than that. And very sadly, this week he passed away, as I said, 101. They've already got a cup competition named in his honour, which was a couple of years ago, the Senior Cup, which is the main cup competition for the Witney District FA, is the Ted Young Senior Cup, so he'll always be remembered. You don't get many people that do that sort of amount of service to football or any sport nowadays, but 40 years plus, and our thoughts are with Ted Young's family and friends as well at this really sad time.
Great tributes.
Absolutely. We're just going to move on now because we've also got a little bit of football news, and Craig Mackay, the Kidlington manager, he has left the club. They've had a very difficult season, Kidlington, in the relegation zone, and despite all of Craig's best efforts, they're still struggling down at the bottom of the Southern League, Division 1 Central. Hopefully they can still get out of it, but it's time's running out for them, unfortunately, as is the case with Northley, although they did have a decent result in the week. So Craig Mackay leaving Kidlington, and it's that time of the year, isn't it, where managers start to sort of make their moves, and Craig Mackay, very successful at Banbury as the assistant manager up there, decided to take on a job in his own right. Sadly, it hasn't worked out, but he's a top man, top manager, and I'm sure he'll be back very soon.
We wish him all the best.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Well, that takes us from the round ball to the puck, and as I normally say, get my catchphrases in, to Oxford City Stars, and unfortunately they were home to the Slough Jets, but as you can see on the screen there, they were subject to a bit of a hammering, 9-0 against the Jets there at the Ox Pens. 63 shots against the 11 to the Stars, so it really was a tough night for them. After a really good few matches in the last few weeks, they've gone really well, And like we say every week, get yourselves down to the Ox Pens. It's a fantastic place to go and watch a bit of ice hockey. And good food, plenty to drink. So do get yourself down there. The next, I think they're on the road, aren't they, to the Planet Ice Gosport on Saturday, the 8th of March. This Saturday, face-off is actually at 5 o'clock against the Solent Devils. As we always say, some fantastic names in ice hockey. So that's brilliant. So we wish them all the very best, not only for this Saturday, but for the remaining fixtures. They are in the playoffs, so whatever they can do to do that will be absolutely fantastic. And as we say, all the best to Oxford City Stars. We will have Mark Saunders coming in the next few weeks to discuss how Oxford City Stars are doing. So we're looking forward to cutting the ice, as you say, with the manager at Oxford City Stars. So good luck, and we're on to our next piece. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that KDog has vacated the premises, and I've been joined by a slightly smaller version of Ronnie from Alpine Eagle Racing, RF Racing 43. Ronnie, welcome to Ox Sports Unleashed, another exclusive here. It's a sport that we haven't covered previously. So just to start us off, give us a little bit of history surrounding Alpine Eagle Racing.
So I started racing 2 years ago. But that was my first learning year last year before moving into Micromax. Last season I competed in a club and national level where I finished third in my Shennington Club Championship, which is that trophy just there.
Let's have a look. Can I have a look? Let's have a look. Fantastic. Brilliant. Well done. Excellent. Do I need to push that way a little bit? There we go. Get that out your way. Cool. So that was exciting. Did you get on a podium for that?
Yeah, lots of times really. Really close, had a couple of frustrating times, but got through it. Only did 5 rounds, so happy with the third place, yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I suppose going on to you, Ronnie, how did you get involved in this racing? Where's the history behind you?
So racing runs through my family, covering motorcycles, cars and karting. So my dad raced motorcycles, but he thought if I wanted to get into racing, it'd be safer on 4 wheels rather than 2. So in the end, my dad arranged a day at Let's Go Karting, and I absolutely loved it.
Sounds really, really good. I mean, what sort of speeds do you go, Ronnie? What's the...
Well, in my new kart, which I literally just stepped into, was it goes around 65 to 70 miles per hour, maybe even higher sometimes. But the one before that, I was doing like 50 to 60, so yeah, quite fast. Yeah,
quite fast. And I bet that feels the momentum because you're quite close to the ground. That's phenomenal feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not really told to look down to the ground, as my coaches and stuff say, because if I look down to the ground, I think I'm going faster. So then, I get slower lap time, so I don't look ahead. So then it looks like I'm going slower, so you don't really feel it.
Okay, that's really interesting to know. And also, because I don't know anything about this type of motorsport, so it's really interesting listening to you give us that information. Do you have an earpiece? Are people in your ear telling you what to do, or are you free to do your own race?
Before I go out, I have my dad or my coach, MP coaching, tell me what I need to do, and I need to work on that, because we're not, in race days, we're not allowed earplugs in our ear, because it is classed as cheating. So because not many people can afford earplugs, so it'd be an unfair advantage.
That's really interesting to know. I love that. So this is the first tier of motorsport, isn't it? So what's the progression from what you're racing now to the next stage, and what are you looking to do as well?
So I've currently got a lot more to learn in karting, where I compete at a club level. Sorry, I like to go into national championships, but our funds don't allow. So obviously I want to make it to F1, and the steps for that are from karting to F4, and then F3, then F2, then F1. But I know it's very hard, but if I don't make it to F1, I'd just love to be a professional racing driver in some kind of form.
Sounds like you've got your plan sorted there.
Yeah.
Have you got any sort of time span for that? Are you looking to get into the next one? What age are you looking for that next bit?
Well, I'm hoping to do a bit more karting because it is fun just to drive a kart around a little track. But then again, I want to get and go to those massive British tracks, and maybe something like Abu Dhabi or something in F4 cars or something.
Fantastic, that's good. So I'm gonna have a little look at this. I tell you, it's got a bit of weight to it, this one, hasn't it? It's got a bit of weight to it. Love that. Great Alpine Eagle on there. Do you feel comfortable wearing that? Is that nice snug fit?
It depends if it's hot or cold. Cold, I love to keep it on until I walk back, so I've got a nice warm head. But when it's hot, it gets really stuffy in there.
I bet.
Yeah, with all the padding in it.
So that sort of takes me on quite nicely to the next question, Ronnie. You know, how's the season gone for you, and when does it run? You know, from to?
So I'm currently 2 rounds into the Winter Championship, the Winter Championship ends in the next weekend. But the main championship will start with a race taking place every month until November, where I'm hoping to consistently be on the podium.
Brilliant. Do you know where your next race is? Is it home advantage or not?
So I'm doing a club championship, so it'll be the same track every time, which is one of my closest tracks. So yeah, about 4. I do it a lot.
And so the season's going well. So you're looking forward to the last winter one. Is there a summer championship as well?
So there's a winter one, which is 3 rounds long. Then you carry those points on to the main championship, which is a mix between spring to summer, all the way through to autumn.
Oh, right. So pretty much all year round?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Every month set from 10 rounds.
Right, okay. Again, this is really good information for me, Ronnie, because like I say, I have no idea. So, you know, all the people watching are probably saying, this is brilliant. How do I get involved in this sport? Is there a place that people can go? What's your advice?
So my advice would be, if you want to get into karting, have a go at your closest track. Maybe get someone who's all over the internet or something that can give you a little go in a go-kart and just have fun.
And I think you've alluded to already the aspirations for the future. It's getting through, enjoy the karting while you can, and when you're ready to go to the next stage, you'll know when you're ready. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Once you get used to the kart more and start getting quicker, then you'll know it's time.
Any crashes?
A couple, not hurt though.
Not hurt?
No.
Well, into the barriers or in just bumping or?
Sometimes I just have a little spin and people just drive past, but sometimes I go into like a barrier or something at like 30 miles per hour. So yeah.
How's the spin? How does that feel?
Well, when you look at it and all the people watching probably go, oh, must have been hurt. You just get in the car and go, just want to go drive again. Good.
It's like falling off your bike and getting back on your bike, guys. It's as simple as that. You heard it here first from Ronnie. Look, Ronnie, thank you ever so much for coming in tonight. It's really insightful. I've really enjoyed spending that 5 minutes or so with you and asking those questions. We want to help on your social media, which I think we've got some information now on the system. Our producer is busily going to put that on there. There we go. Do you want to take us through your handles on your social media, Ronnie?
So we obviously need a lot of sponsors, so then we can do some get around club and national championships. But yeah, if you want to go look at our page, it's RF Racing 43.
And that's on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook and YouTube.
Brilliant. That's really good. And as you mentioned there, you're looking for sponsors for 2025. We're just going to give you a little bit of boost. It's not much from us, but we're going to sponsor you for £35 from Oxsports Unleashed. There's
Thank
a
you.
little bit of a sponsorship from us. I'm sure we've got a sticker somewhere that you can stick somewhere on your car or somewhere. But for now, Ronnie, thank you again for joining us. We wish you all the very best of luck for next weekend in your last winter championship, and obviously whatever you do through the summer and autumn as well. So stay with us at the moment, but absolutely brilliant. Loved talking to you. There you go, guys. You heard it here first. You can get involved in karting and get along to your local karting and see how things go. And if give RF Racing 43 a follow on those Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. That would be absolutely brilliant. Well, that takes us on to a bit of football that happened at the weekend, and we've got some footage for you from the Witney Town versus North Lee reserves, and the footage is here for you now.
Ben, frustrating afternoon for us all. Your thoughts on the performance?
Yeah, really frustrating. More than frustrating, to be honest with you. I'm thoroughly disappointed in today. we spoke about before the game that they'd be physical. We spoke about like playing our patterns, about doing our own game, and I felt that we started late. We were terrible in possession for the first 15 minutes. We were looking to play those penetrating passes. We were looking to get on the front foot, and it just couldn't happen. I felt that we went long too much. Discipline was poor. Yeah, and it played into their hands. I think that was their game plan. They wanted to almost like press us in, strangle us. It's a tight pitch. We're usually good at that. We can play our way out, but we didn't. So that was frustrating. But having said that, we created lots of chances. I felt that we should have been going in at half time, winning the game, but we're only drawing. It was frustrating that we went ahead twice and we let that slip, and then in the dying minute that they scored a header and won the game. Maybe the physicality side of it, the game today played a part. We weren't quite at it. A lot of our players, I felt, that didn't want it as much, and that's disappointing. So yeah, lots to work on. Just overall, just really deflated, to be honest with you.
Can I just say, I thoroughly enjoyed that interview with Rocket Ronnie, as we've christened him now. I hope that came across really well. It's great to have an 11-year-old in the studio, and his first ever interview live on this programme, so a real exclusive, but well done to Rocket Ronnie.
Brilliant. What a fantastic interview, and how well did he speak as well? With all the lights and cameras on him, that suggests to me he's going to be a bit of a pro. He's going to be a pro. He's going to handle it really, really well. Rocket Ronnie, we'll call him that. We'll keep following him, and as we said, please follow the Instagram page. We'll put a little bit of sponsorship in as well, and if anybody can help, as we said with Ben Cox a couple of times, please do help. We'll try and get Ben Cox back in at some point, because I think his new season's on the way, certainly in testing and training. So with some fantastic sports people around this county, if we can get a couple of stars on the track. I did have a crack at karting myself once, and I did crash. My boss crashed into me and span me round, but I was going about 20 miles an hour, not 70, which really surprised me when he said that. Crikey.
I think I might have done it about 40 years ago. And I was still scared then.
I bet you were. Yeah, 70 miles an hour on a little car. It's incredible.
Amazing.
Anyway, just quickly, we're going to round up the midweek action from Step 4 and 5, and it's not been great again, to be honest. Kidlington and Northley were both in action in the Southern League Division 1 Central. Northley, after their goalless draw against Ware at the weekend, sadly they went down 2-0 at home to AFC Dunstable on Tuesday at Ensham Park, and Kidlington's season of difficulty has continued as well. They lost 3-0. No manager now, of course, with Craig Mackay leaving, so they lost 3-0 to Flackwell Heath. So not going great for our two West Oxfordshire, so as we call Kidlington West Oxfordshire, just about. Yeah, just about. But there's still time. Just keep everything crossed that things improve. But yes, we will keep following them for the rest of the season. Darryl.
Yeah, thank you. We had the privilege a couple of weeks ago to go down to the Jack Shannon stables, where we've got some tremendous footage. We access all areas. We were very, very fortunate to have an interview with Mick Shannon, which will be coming up next week as a little taster for you. Do not miss it. Do not miss the legend that is Mick Shannon. It's a quality interview, and Colin Ryde, long-term Southampton supporter, was in his element. So
famed for his windmill celebration.
Absolutely,
Mick Shannon.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But just to have a little bit of insight, we went down with owner Paul Humphs, as we like to call him, and we had a little interview alongside some of his horses that are currently residing at...
Interviewing the horses? Wow.
Well, they sort of got involved. But we've got some footage of Paul talking about his horses.
Okay, so this is Flash Bardo. She's by Sleek's Icon. She's been a very successful horse for us, loves the mud. She's now a 6-year-old this year, and she's an absolute cracker. And we've had her right from her 2-year-old career. She probably likes the taste of microphones.
Microphones are good.
Probably.
Are they? Microphones are good.
But she's been a little star for us, and she rarely lets you down. She always runs a race, and she's a pleasure to be around. And as you can see, she's looking great. She's got a bit of a winter coat on at the moment, as we all have, Darryl.
Yeah, well, I've got my winter coat. You quite like my winter coat.
Exactly. So, she'll come through. She's back in training now, so we'll get her out in the spring, I would think, for her first run, kind of March, April time, when she starts the season off very well, don't you? But she's a lovely horse, Darryl. This is Kajetan. He was out last week, Thursday, at Kempton. Got a little bit of a run on the inside. We thought he was going to come with a bit of a wet sail, but unfortunately the going at Lingfield on the all-weather was a lot deeper on the rail than it was in the middle of the course, and he was like kind of wheel spinning a little bit. But he's a super horse. He's a 90 rated horse. He'll probably run. We'll get one more run into him, and I think he'll go for the Winter Stakes at Lingfield on the all-weather, and then we'll have another crack at him as the year goes on, back on the turf. But he's done ever so well for us. He's a lovely sort. He's a lovely little horse. We like him. He's nice.
The latest?
Yeah. She's unnamed at the moment, 2-year-old, by Invincible Spirit. She was the one we were going to have a look at her on the gallops, but she's on box rest at the moment. But she's a super-looking horse. She's got a bit of size and scope about her for a 2-year-old, and Jack's very excited about the possibilities. So, unnamed at the moment. The syndicate will get together and decide what that might be. We normally try to name horses after their mothers and the dyers and the sires and the dams. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But she's a super looking horse. Jack's very excited about her. She was brought in the yearling sales at Newmarket at the back end of last year. She's now out doing some work. She probably won't be an early 2-year-old. Jack seems to think that probably slightly later in the season would suit her. He's in no rush to get her out. That would normally tell you that Jack thinks she's probably all right. So, but yeah, she's a super looking horse, and she's right at the beginning of her career, but she looks to have settled in very well, don't you? Apart from pulling your shoe off.
Oh.
Apart from that, yeah, she's a nice looking horse.
Exciting times ahead.
It is, yeah, it is.
There we go, me interviewing some horses, it looked like there at some point.
They were getting in on the app, weren't they?
They were getting a little bit, I shouldn't say frisky, should I? But they were. It was great. I mean, thanks to Paul Humphreys for sharing that information with us and showcasing his horses. They were absolutely lovely, I have to say. I'm not a horsey type person, if I'm honest, but I will say the camera angle didn't do my bold spot much good, and obviously the big nose as well. But anyway, there we go. I have to have a word with our cameramen. Cameramen, did you see there was 2 angles?
Two
there?
of them.
We're getting so professional. We don't just throw this together.
We must be earning too much, mustn't we?
We might do. But that takes us on to a little snippet of a Jack Shannon interview that I carried out, like I say, a couple of weeks ago. And he gives us a little bit of a tip for Cheltenham, and a little bit of cricket involved in this as well. So over to Jack.
For the Gold Cup, it's got to be... If he turns up in the same nick, Galopin de Champ's the best horse in the race by far, but he's probably a skinny price for everyone. But yeah, look, you'd be mad to bet against him, I'd say.
You hit it here first on Oxsports Unleashed. Get your betting slips going. Thank you ever so much, Jack. Last question from me. West Ilsley cricket. As I'm a cricket coach, I have to bring that in. I see a cricket bat here and a couple of cricket balls on your desk. But love that sport as well?
Yeah, no, I've always loved cricket. It's probably been my favourite sport to play since I was a kid. Probably because it was the only one I was half decent at. And my brother's was the captain of West Ilsley. I think they got promoted last year, so they're all delighted. Unfortunately, I can't quite get to play as much on a Saturday as I would, but I wouldn't bet against them going up again. They've got a good young team, and I'll probably you might see me turn out the odd Saturday when I don't have any runners, probably go out for a go and get a nice golden duck or something, and then stand in the field with a pint in my hand probably. But yeah, no, it's. I reckon they've got a chance of going back up again.
That's brilliant. If you need any coaching, no, that's a terrible plug from me, but. Jack, I have to say thank you ever so much for your time today and giving us the exclusive and the reign of coming round here. It's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you. All the best for the future.
No, thank you ever so much. Cheers.
Yeah, a little snippet of my interview there with Jack Shannon. He was a joy to interview, as much as Ronnie was tonight, to be fair. So, please join us next week. You'll be silly to miss everything that we did at the Shannon Stables. Well, some of it. We might not,
keep some back.
Yeah, keep some back. Because it's incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Again, at this moment in time, thanks again to Jack Shannon Stables for letting us in. It's just
letting you in.
Yeah, letting us in. It was brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed. Well, we all thoroughly enjoyed our time there. So thanks again.
It was a nice day as well.
It was a nice day. It was
sun was
a little bit chilly, I've got to be honest, but there we go. We're going to go from horses to dodgeball because it seems sensible. I don't know.
Sport number 9 of the night.
Number 9. See, we do cover quite a lot of sports in Oxfordshire, and I suppose this is probably a good time to say it. We still need your footage. Anything you've got, please send it to us at our email address. We always say, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We will use it, and like I say, every sport we want to showcase on this show. We really do. And,
I was to say, while we're on that point, we're absolutely thrilled. We're getting lots of viewers tonight, which is amazing. Thank you very much for being with us and watching. And we know that a lot of you watch it later on in the week. If you're liking what you're seeing, or even if you're not liking it, actually, just like, share and subscribe to the channel and tell your friends and family about it, because the more subscriptions we get, the better, and the more we can bring to this wonderful county of ours. So please like, share and subscribe. Don't have to watch necessarily. You can watch because it's
nice
some good stuff. It would be nice, yeah. And thank you so much to everybody for watching tonight, because we're very proud of the figures this evening. Thank you again from all of us.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. From the bottom of our hearts, actually. As I said, we're going to dodgeball, and we've actually got some footage, and Wes has put this nice little piece together for you to watch now.
Oxford Thunder Dodge have been back in action with matches in the Open Regionals and Open National competitions. In the Regionals, Thunder Dodge finished in second in their first ever tournament, but defeat to the Canterbury Crocodiles, great name by the way, by 2 sets saw Oxford bag the silver medals. However, there was more joy for team member Tom Clark, who was invited to trial for the National England team, and everyone at Oxsports Unleashed wishes Tom all the best as he attempts to represent Oxfordshire on the world stage. In the Open National, Thunder Dodge have been performing excellently, with 6 wins, 2 draws and only 1 defeat from their last 3 meets. At the halfway point in the league, Thunder Dodge are tied at the top of the league with London Storm and Chippenham Chargers, with the next round of fixtures set for Saturday the 22nd of March at the Rivermead Leisure Centre in Reading. A top 2 finish will see Thunder Dodge promoted to the Unified Open National League 1 for next season, but with Bedford Rangers and Berkshire Royals hot on their heels, just 1 and 2 points behind respectively, Thunder Dodge will have to fight for every point if they want to go up a league for 2026. Our thanks go to Peter Charridge and Oxford Thunder Dodge for sharing this footage via our email address oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. And for anyone interested in giving dodgeball a go, you can get in touch by visiting their Facebook page or Instagram, with training sessions held at John Mason School in Abingdon at 7:30 p.m. every Monday. Back to Woodsy and KDog for much more Ox Sports Unleashed.
There you go. My very soft arm was on display again there with the dodgeball. But like I say, I really enjoyed my time there. And they've been doing really well. And thanks to Wes for putting that piece together, because it was another great little piece for the show. Just to give you a little bit of background, there's going to be some slides coming up of pictures. They were in the Open Regionals South East 2, and Thunder Dodge finished a solid second place after losing their second match to the Canterbury Crocodiles. I think Wes has alluded to that in the piece there, by 2 sets. It was a very, very close game. They reckon the team buckled a little bit under the pressure, facing a very strong Crocs team, I love it, combined with the chance of their first ever tournament and regional win, so they got a little bit pressured, I think. Though they were happy with a set of silver medals and again gaining that valuable experience to build off instead. Not unrelated to having a slightly weakened team on the day, one of their members, Tom Clark, was invited to the closed England team trials. So best of luck to Tom Clark. Hope things go well there. They've been doing well over the past 3 meets, 3 matches at each, with only a single loss to Chippenham Chargers and 2 unfortunate draws to Bedford Rangers and Carmarthen Wizards. Some great names again there in the dodgeball world. Big shout out to all the teams. The games were incredibly good and really fairly played. This marks the halfway point of the league, which has resulted in a 3-way tie on points at the top of the league between London Storm, Chippenham Charger and Oxford Thunder Dodge. There's a few teams hot on the heels of the Thunder Dodges, so it looks like it'll be close all the way to the end. In their meetings, Meet 1, Thunder Dodge 16-12 against PB Dodgeball. They ran out 16-12 winners against Norwich Nighthawks 2 and then beat Berkshire Royals 13-11. And Thunder Dodge in the Meet 2 beat Canterbury Crocodiles for a change, 14-10. Lost to Chippenham Chargers 18-12 and then drew with Bedford Rangers 3s 13 apiece. And then in the last meet 3, they beat London Saints 2 by 17-9 and London Storm 3 by 13-11 and then a draw with those Carmarthen Wizards 14-all. They're really motivated for the next set of league matches, which is the 22nd of March. So we wish them all the very best on that. You can still join them at 7:30 on a Monday night at the John Mason School gym. So go along if you want to get involved. One thing that's happened off the back of us actually showcasing dodgeball is their membership has gained. So it's really, really pleasing from our point of view that that's happened. And they're now looking to, British Dodgeball is looking to get teams in a junior division. So that is a possibility for the Thunder Dodgers as well. Fantastic so off the back of this little show, it does show what can happen to a particular sport and make it grow. So we wish, like I say, Oxford Thunder Dodge all the very best for the rest of the season. Hopefully they can get a gold medal going through. No, so brilliant stuff. Really, really good.
And Peter Charries, what a guy.
Brilliant.
So enthusiastic about his sport. Terrific stuff. Right, we're going to change from the dodgeball to the rugby ball now, another sport. And Chinnor were back in action at the weekend, not in the Prem Cup because they weren't allowed in it. We won't talk about that again. But they played Cambridge in the second leg of their Not the Prem Cup, which is a brilliant innovation from Chinnor and Cambridge. And as you can see there, Chinnor ran out 33-31 winners in the second leg. Close game, but that led to an overall aggregate victory of 66 points to 55. So Chinnor have won the inaugural Not the Prem Cup, and hopefully next season the RFU and the powers that be at Twickenham will let Chinnor into the proper competition, because that's where they should be, because they have been performing really well in the championship this season. They're in a bit of a battle at the moment, but they'll be back in league action soon, and they go all the way through to the end of May. So there's still a lot of rugby union left at Kingsley Road. We'll definitely get back there again at some point this season, because it is a terrific afternoon or evening of entertainment. They're a really good side. You saw them last year against the Rams. They're getting 2,000 people regularly at their games, which is terrific. And we wish Chinnor all the very best for the rest of the season. And hopefully you can stay in the championship and continue to fly the flag for Oxfordshire.
And that takes us on to the same style of ball, strangely enough, for the Oxford Saints. We haven't mentioned much about American football in the previous shows, but they're back up and running, and I think we've got a little slide here of their up-and-coming fixtures. They're away on the 16th of March, so, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, against the Hurricanes. On the 23rd of March, they are at home against Sandwell Steelers. What a great name. And April 6th is to be confirmed at the moment, but they're really looking forward to their pre-season friendlies. So we're looking forward to following Oxford Saints American football in 2025 and hope that they have a successful season. And if you want to get along to Tilsley Park to watch those games, when it's a home game, obviously, do so, because it'll be great. You can get more information about that on their website and their social media, Oxford Saints. So, another sport highlighted in Oxsports Unleashed.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And that leads us nicely on to our regular weekly results roundup. So you can get football results elsewhere, but you can't get the comprehensive football and rugby results anywhere else, I don't think. And here we have the results from last weekend's games in the football and the rugby union, and also the results from the midweek fixtures. There you go. That's all the results roundup from the weekend and midweek football and rugby union. Good luck to everybody taking part across the county this weekend. Good luck indeed to Oxford City particularly. Hopefully they can pick up a win against Buxton and we'll talk about the rest of the fixtures shortly. But before we do that, we will just run through all the league tables for you. Obviously, Oxford City weren't with a game at the weekend, but Oxford United's poor run continued, and they've just dipped a little bit further, down to 18th place now, 38 points from their 35 games. Still 7 points above the relegation zone. But they are just starting to look over their shoulders again, because they haven't won in 7 or 8 games now. And a really good game at the weekend against Coventry, but sadly they went down by 3-2. Into the National League North, as we mentioned, Oxford City didn't have a game in the league because of their FA Trophy action. That meant that teams below them could close the gap, and one of the sides did close the gap. Needham Market picked up a draw, so they've closed to just 2 points behind Oxford City now, who are precariously just outside that relegation zone. But as you can see, they do have games in hand over all the teams below them and a few of the teams above them as well. Obviously, you need to win those games in hand, but hopefully they can pick themselves up against Buxton, as I said, at the weekend. Into the Southern League Premier Division Central, Banbury United, really good result actually for them at the weekend. They were 2-2 draw against Harborough Town. The reason it was such a good result was they played the majority of the game with 10 men. Not quite as long as Oxford City did, with Canis Carroll being sent off, but Gideon Akito got sent off in that game against Harborough. They went 2-1 down Banbury, but pulled themselves back to level. So they are mid-table, 41 points from 31 games. I think they're probably going to be safe, but they probably could just do with a couple more wins just to be absolutely sure. Into the Division 1 Central of the Southern League, Tame United, another 8-goal thriller for Tame, another 4-4 draw at the weekend against Hadley. Incredible. That's the second time this season they've had a 4-4 draw. They're just outside the playoff places, 54 points from their 29 games. So they've had a really good season. Ben Williams doing great stuff over at the ASM Stadium, and we'll keep a close eye on them, and hopefully they can push themselves into that orange section and get themselves into the playoffs.
Really good.
No such luck, though, at the bottom of the table. Northley nearly down, I would say. They are 15 points away from the 18th position. That's 5 wins, isn't it? And that's going to be a struggle, as they've only won once all season. Kidlington also, they're struggling a little bit now as well. Just 19 points from 29 games. And there's a bit of a gap starting to cast, isn't there, between the bottom 3 and those just above them. So although we will keep hope alive, it is getting a little bit precarious for both of them. Division 1 South, obviously we mentioned the Didcot Town game against Willand Rovers being abandoned at the weekend for very sad reasons, but they maintain a mid-table position, 43 points from 32 games. I just had to crane my eyes there for a second because I thought I said 45, but mid-table for Jamie Heapy's men, and they'll be back in action this weekend. Combined Counties Premier Division North, Ardley United flying the flag for Oxfordshire in that division in 9th place, 42 points from 32 games for Ardley. Into the bottom half of the table, Milton United and Wallingford and Cromarsh both in mid-table. Milton on 37 points and Wallingford and Cromarsh on 34. And the the United Counties League, not Combined Counties, I just said that one, Easington Sports. Well, they've had a tough old season, but they are still fairly well clear of the relegation places, the bottom 2. 28 points from 27 games, 8 points above the drop zone, with 8 wins from their 27 games so far. And just looking at the Hellenic League, UHL Sport Hellenic League Division 1, Wantage Town and Abingdon still doing really, really well. Wantage in 2nd, Abingdon United in 4th place, so they're both in playoff positions. Clanfield, they're still not a million miles away, are they, Clanfield? 4 points off the playoff spots in 7th, 42 points from their 24 games. They're always there or thereabouts, Clanfield,
just
aren't they?
down a place this week, actually.
Yeah, they have, but I say they were so unlucky last year, and they're there or thereabouts again. So who knows? We could have 3 sides in the playoffs from Oxfordshire. That'd be good. Brilliant. Into the bottom half of the table, and Kidlington Reserves, they are in 13th place. 24 games played, 28 points. Carterton still propping up the table at the moment, though, 16 points from their 28 games. Into the Women's National League Southern Division, Oxford United still doing really, really well in 3rd place. Hashtag United, I love that name. Hashtag United.
Love it.
Sort of walking away with it a little bit, but Ipswich have got some games in hand. Oxford United, though, they're handily placed in 3rd. 11 wins from their 18 games so far. And into the South West Division 1 of the National League, Abingdon United, they are in 9th place, 17 games played, 14 points. Southampton at bottom.
Southampton
I'll
again.
call it that,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Oxford City, well, they are, again, doing really well, flying the flag for the city of Oxford. 14 games played, 26 points and 8 wins. They're in 3rd place, just behind Wycombe Wanderers on goal difference. Ascot United still top of the league, still unbeaten there, so they're flying along towards the title.
That takes us on to the upcoming football fixtures for Saturday the 8th of March. The EFL Championship, that's Friday, the 7th of March, that's thrown me a little bit. Oxford on the way to Norwich City at Carrow Road at 8 p.m. kick-off. In the National League North, that is Saturday the 8th of March, Oxford City are home against Buxton at the M Group Stadium. Into the Southern League Premier Central, Banbury United on their travels to the Grove against Halesowen Town, and in Southern League Division 1 South, Didcot Town travel to Helston Athletic at Callaway Park. Yeah, quite
Another long trip down to the southwest again.
Into the Southern League Division 1 Central, Aylesbury United will host Tame
derby.
United at the Meadow. Yeah, a bit of a local derby there. It'll be an interesting game. And Kidlington are on their travels even to Leverstock Green at the Lord's Building Merchant Stadium. Brilliant. And Northley are also on their way to Stotfold at the JSJ Stadium, New Roker Park.
There you go.
Brilliant. Some of these names are superb. And still on the Saturday 8th of March, Milton United are away to Burnham in the Combined Counties Premier North, as are Ardley United to Edgware and Kingsbury at the Silver Jubilee Park. And the Combined Counties Premier League, a bit of a stall there from your host. Wallingford and Crowmarsh have a home tie at Wallingford Sports Park against Harefield United at 3 p.m. And in the United Counties Premier South, Easington Sports have a home tie at Addison Road against Aylstone Park. In the Hellenic League Division 1, Abingdon United a home tie against Redditch Borough, and Carterton also at home against Bewdley Town. Come on, Carterton at Kilkenny Lane. Let's see if we can get you off that bottom. And Clanfield 85 at Radcott Road against Newark Town. And Kidlington Reserves a home tie at Yarnton Road at Shortwood United. And Wantage Town are also at home against Cheltenham Saracens. On to the Sunday, the 9th of March, the Women's National League Southern Premier, Oxford United at the M Group Stadium host Exeter City. And in the Women's National League Division 1 South West, Aberdeen United travel south to AFC Bournemouth at Ringwood Town Football Club. And in the Southern Regional Women's Football League Premier League, Oxford City are on their travels to the High Street ground at Selsey.
High Street.
High Street, yes, yeah, absolutely. That was the fixtures for this weekend.
Brilliant.
Where did you get that?
Well, you don't get that anywhere. That is for certain. And Clanfield, they always start with an 85 head start, don't 85, they? So yeah. Clanfield 85. Yeah, brilliant. And good luck to all our teams that are in action this weekend. We'll bring you all the results and all the best action as always next week. A little plug from me now. If you can't get to Oxford City and you're at a loose end, you could always tune into Radio Oxford and somebody might be commentating on that game on Saturday.
Is it Andy Gate?
Just say Andy Gate, yeah, I might be there as well. Oxford City against Buxton, 3 o'clock kick-off. They really unlucky up there. They should have won that game, and Josh Parker had a goal ruled out for offside, which clearly wasn't. They haven't had a lot of luck with referees this year, and Patrick's going to agree with that, the current producer, because
He's nodding away.
He moans about the referees every single week, but I must admit, last week's was all right, to be fair, but the one up at Buxton ruled out a perfectly good goal, which would have at least given Oxford City a point. Anyway, that's pretty much it. We've gone a little bit over today, but it has been a mega packed show. We have really covered a lot this week. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. I'll hand over to Woodsy to say his farewells in a moment, but just a reminder, coming up next week, a big interview with Brad Axe, the Axeman, with Darryl, the boxer. Darryl's not the boxer, obviously, the Axeman's the boxer, and part 2 of that interview next week with Brad, and that'll be really, really worth watching. So please tune in next week. As we've said previously, please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and email anything you've got to us, any footage. If you email it to us, we will use it, essentially, unless we get 3 or 4 hours of it, then we might struggle, but please do send your footage to us, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. And just before we close, Darryl, I'm just going to give a little bit of an update on Didcot Town, because this year is the 20th anniversary of their FA Vase triumph at White Hart Lane. But yeah, I went all the way over there to watch it. It was a brilliant final. They played AFC Sudbury and won that game 3-2 on a glorious May afternoon. And on the 12th of April at the Luke Meadow Stadium, so just over a month's time, they are going to be having a reunion of all the players, or most of the players that were involved in that memorable day up at White Hart Lane when Didcot won the FA Vase and flew the flag for Oxfordshire. It was a terrific day. So if you're at a loose end on the 12th of April, get yourself down to Luke Meadow, because that'll be a day of celebration and remembering the brilliant events of 20 years ago.
Brilliant. As KDog alluded to there, we have got a little snippet of Brad Axe just to say what's coming up next week. So yeah, don't worry. And this is a little clip of what's coming up next week, Brad Axe Part 2.
So exciting times then. The next fight, as we say, is in April at Stamford Bridge, I understand?
Yeah, Stamford Bridge Football Stadium. So it's again exciting. Like that, little things like that help build the profile, build my reputation. And on the fight week, they're having the face-off at the Chelsea versus Tottenham game, half-time. Me and our team and the American team will be facing off and stuff on the pitch, and yeah, it's exciting.
Next week.
There we go. Thanks to Brad, and yes, come join us next week for the second part of that interview. It's well worth listening to. It's a real insight to how he's going about his next fight at Stamford Bridge on the 4th of April. So loads of reasons to join us next week. The Shannon Stables footage, Mick Shannon, and Brad Axe as well. So plenty of reasons why you should tune in to Ox Sports Unleashed. If you've enjoyed tonight's show with us showcasing quite a lot of Oxfordshire sports, do hit that like and subscribe button. It will mean the world to us. And follow us on all our social media channels as well. We're all on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And TikTok, strangely enough, as well. So you can follow us wherever you can. Please, do give us a follow. You'll get quite a few bits of information, and hit the notification bell, and you will never ever miss an episode.
That'll put them off, that's for certain.
Absolutely. But anything that comes up, you will get notified. So please do that.
Who could be happier after the days we've had just the last couple of days? The sun's shining, cricket season's on the way. It actually felt like summer today, early summer. It was terrific.
It was brilliant. Enjoyed your comeback to Ox Sports Unleashed?
I did. No, very good. I haven't actually been ill yet this year.
No, that's true.
It was other reasons, work commitments and such like. But no, it's been a really, really, really good show. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. It's probably been one of our best viewed for a little while, probably because I'm back, I should say. But,
I'm sure that's...
without a doubt.
They were looking for the clangers, weren't they, really?
Yeah, there was only one right at the end. I nearly got through.
Nearly got
Wes
through.
would have spotted me on my phone just then. Sorry,
Yeah.
Wes.
Yeah, he would
but
have
no,
done.
brilliant. Really good show tonight.
Thanks for watching. That's
Rocket
about...
Ronnie.
And Rocket Ronnie was probably my favourite bit. It's my favourite. Thanks again for watching. It's been a packed programme, as we said. And like I say, click like and subscribe. It'll be brilliant. So that's about it. The week that the Football Association decided to change a ruling of the goalkeepers now having 8 seconds to release the ball. And if they don't, a corner is given to the opposition. So interesting one. We'll see how that pans out when it's brought in. So thanks again for watching. Please join us next week. Lots to watch, where we'll unleash some more Ox Sports. It's good night from me.
See ya.